Especialmente para que no te vayas a quemar. Ay, graduó el golpe.
No para mí, para todo el mundo la vida está muy dura. ¿Qué más le puedo decir? No le puedo decir más nada porque la vida real esto está crítico, esto no avanza.
¿Qué significa crítico?
Los precios de la alimentación del ser humano, por lo menos las necesidades principales. Todo en vez de bajar lo que va subiendo. No hay un salario que te respalde el mes. Todo está crítico. Todo está crítico.
No me ha llegado la venta de los cupés en moneda nacional, está parada. Puede ser que le sirvan a uno en algún lugar determinado, pero como tal, como estaba antes, que en el mes cogía una vez y quedabas pendiente ya para el otro mes cerquita, no. Eso ahora en estos momentos no sucede. Entonces se está abriendo la venta en divisas, en dólares, y es la que está sirviéndole al pueblo.
El combustible está caro, el petróleo está a 500 pesos, la gasolina 800, 1000 pesos y todo está caro, aquí todo está caro.
¿Y qué solución tiene la gente?
Solución es, si no bajas el carro, te quedas botado. Esa es la solución. Si no bajas el carro, te quedaste botado.
Bueno, los apagones han aumentado y ellos toda la vida nos han amenazado y bueno, pues, pero nosotros nunca hemos tenido miedo. Como ser humano pasamos trabajo porque mira, el mismo transporte nos golpea mucho, porque mira, yo trabajo en el vedado y me cuesta, me tengo que ir de madrugada para poder coger y después al regreso no sé en qué voy a regresar, pero hasta ahora lo he podido hacer, no sé ahora cuando vaya, cómo será, pero siempre ando la vida entera.
Yo manejo un triciclo eléctrico que me dedico aquí en Cuba a transportar personas por el tema del transporte. Por el tema de los apagones, nada más puedo cargarlo 4 o 5 horas. Y lo otro es que con la gasolina puedo nada más, o sea, se adquiere en dólares. Me cuesta 1.30 el litro, ahora mismo el dólar está a 400 y pico de pesos, que lo tiene el Estado, y me se dificulta todo.
Y no tengo nada de comer. Ahora tengo que ir a la prisión a ver mi familia, no puedo ir porque no tengo dinero para el pasaje. Un milagro que haya, no sé. En contra del país no estoy porque siempre hemos sido, ¿tú me entiendes? De la gente de Fidel Castro. Ser rica, pero no quiero morirme de hambre. ¿Entiendes?
Yo veo que ya nosotros sí nos podemos.
Porque se dice, se comenta y pasan cosas y no pasan y entonces no puedo estar en eso. ¿Entiendes? Es mi opinión.
Te tiene que enfocar en sobrevivir.
Claro, esto es supervivencia, más nada.
No, dice que como que... Pero no. Yo no me veo. Yo veo que ya nosotros sí nos podemos.
No, esperanza ninguna, yo no tengo esperanza ninguna, pero bueno, tampoco, ni pienso en eso, que sea lo que Dios quiera. Realmente no le pongo atención a esas cosas. Porque se dice, se comenta y pasan cosas y no pasan.
A veces cuando se da la luz, a veces hay accidentes, porque los semáforos no tienen luz. Yo misma, a veces tengo que ir para mi trabajo y tengo que irme de madrugada. Y no hay luz. Mira, ahorita mismo la quitaron. Porque no son 4 horas de luz como antes, no. A veces nos quitan la luz 2 o 3 veces a la semana, ya no es casi todos los días. Y a veces son hasta 12 horas de luz. El otro día la quitaron a las 11 de la mañana y no la pusieron hasta las 12 de la noche. Y no hay luz, yo no sé, dice que el problema es que no hay petróleo, que no hay esto o lo otro, yo no sé, porque no sé nada de esas cosas. Pero aunque sea un descanso, en cuanto al transporte está muy malo.
Shalom. First and foremost, call Halal, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Hakwadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit, in the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue, and double honors to our teachers, the beloved apostles and elders at Great Millstone, who teach and rule well, and peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Yuakim pushing this word and truth and sincerity across the four winds of the earth, as well as the men, women, and children alike, the believers. Shalom. It's your brother Karai Tazal coming with a quick lesson. Adawan Ratazal, Lord willing. I pray that it's edifying, and it's entitled Cuba Crisis, Blackout, Jacob's Trouble, a glimpse into Jacob's trouble. And as you've seen on the video, right, this is Cuba. And if you read what those people were saying, they were basically saying, blackouts, high fuel, high costs, everything's expensive, no food, no electricity. They have to trade in dollars right now, and they're also having to have a digital ID, which they didn't get into in that video. But let's read a little bit of this. In Al Jazeera, it says, from blackouts to food shortages, how U.S. blockade is crippling life in Cuba. All right. It says, and this is going to explain what they're dealing with as far as fuel and energy and oil. U.S. oil blockade is causing a severe energy crisis in Cuba, as the government has been forced to ration fuel and cut electricity for many hours a day, paralyzing life in the communist ruled island nation of 11 million. Bus stops are empty and families are turning to wood and coal for cooking, living through near constant power outages amid an economic crisis worsened by the Trump administration steps in recent weeks. Let's see. So they're trying to, so-called have a regime change, the higher ups. It says here, since Venezuela's president has been, taken in or whatever, it has put a lot of pressure and strangled Havana's economy by isolating it. It says Venezuela's Cuba's closest ally in the region provided the country with the much needed fuel. So let's go down to see. It says, here, basically they're getting their oil from Mexico now, and it's not enough. That's their main supplier. Shorter days of school, obviously. 4-day work weeks. No transportation. I'm trying to find where they're talking about the oil. So it says, let's see right here. On Sunday, Cuba notified airlines that due to its ongoing energy crisis, it would suspend the provision of jet fuel for a month. It also says on Monday and Tuesday, beginning Monday and Tuesday, carriers flying to and from the island have been informed they would be unable to refuel there. And I heard recently that Canada was canceling flights to Mexico as well. They have to fuel elsewhere in the Caribbean. It says decades of strict U.S. economic sanctions against Cuba, the largest island nation in the Caribbean, have destroyed its economy and isolated it from international trade. Cuba relied on foreign allies for oil shipments such as Mexico, Russia, and Venezuela. However, the U.S. forces abduct, right, the president of Venezuela, Washington, blocked any Venezuelan oil from going to Cuba. Trump now says the Cuban government is ready to fall. The military actions of Venezuela, the pledge to take over Greenland, and changing the government in Cuba are a part of the new policy under Trump. Oh, right now it says here, last month Trump signed an executive order labeling Cuba a threat to national security, imposing tariffs on any country that sells or provides oil to the island nation. It says further pressure on the Mexican government reportedly led to oil stocks reaching a new record low in Cuba. It looks like it's something that's just not going to be able to survive, Trump told reporters last month when questioned about Cuba. The nation is a failed nation, is what he said. And so that's pretty much the point. And we see the condition that this place is in due to this devil. And this is just a glimpse of what's to come, because it's going full, he's trying to have full control, right? This devil wants full control. So he's not going to stop until all of the, until he feels like he has the power. He's going forth as he's always done. John chapter 10 and verse 10, the thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly. And who's the they? The elect of Israel, ultimately all Israel in the kingdom. But first 2/3 got to be destroyed on this side. And this is part of 2/3 being destroyed, Jacob's trouble. This is prophecy being fulfilled as well, because the northern kingdom, Manasseh, the so-called Cubans, are rebellious, worshiping Santa Maria, that witchcraft, different gods, just like that woman was saying in the video. She was saying, she has no hope, and she doesn't believe in God, and she doesn't care about what God has going on, and that's the majority of 2/3 of our people. The majority, they're faithless, and they're basically adulteresses and idolaters, because the nation of Israel is married to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. And as you can see, 2/3 of our people are rebelling and committing adultery by worshiping these other false gods and this system. Because we see what this devil is doing, right? And our people that trust in him, they're going to be in for a rude awakening, because they're trusting in this place. Is Isaiah chapter 31 and verse 1. Woe to them, meaning destruction to them, that go down to Egypt for help. And Egypt is spiritually America. And all of the people that trust in the system, America has influenced the whole world, the whole earth, with their policies, their democracy, their gods and false religions, and all these different ways of thinking and living. And our people, 2/3, love it and they trust in it. But the Lord said, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, because there are many, our people comfortable in this world because it's just functioning and there's so much abundance, and the military is strong, and you got this and that. But it says, and in horsemen, because they are very strong, but they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord Yahweh. So they don't look for the Lord to provide for them. They're totally trusting in this devil, proving that he's their father, right? They worship and serve this devil, and they don't look to the Lord for help or for guidance or for what's understanding of what's going on, for wisdom in this wicked dark world. It says, Yet he also is wise and will bring evil and will not call back his words, but will raise against the house of the evildoers and against the help of them that work iniquity. So the Lord is finna punish and judge this earth, starting with 2/3 of our people. And this is what we're seeing when we look into Cuba. You know, it says, now the Egyptians are men and not God, and their horses flesh and not spirit. When the Lord Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that is hoping shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. You see, the Lord's finna judge all these nations, all 2/3, starting with 2/3, and the Lord is not gonna call back, okay, his words that are written, these prophecies, how judgment is finna go down. Nothing is gonna be changed, right? It's gonna happen just how it's written. The Lord's gonna accomplish all of his words. And that's why we're moving, you know, the hopeful elect are moving spiritually, paying attention, watching and praying, you know, as we're commanded, girding up the loins of our minds, because this is evil time. But we see what this devil is doing on Sirach 12 and verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So we know this devil is, his spirit is not upright in him, so you should never trust him. Why would you? And when you do trust him, you're going to see sooner or later that he's wicked. In verse 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. And that's what 2/3 of our people finna find out the hard way, with a rude awakening. It says he will weep with his eyes, right, acting like he feels sorry for you and he's sad, having empathy for you. But it says, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And you could see what they did in was that Venezuela? You know, a few months ago, I just came across that article. Matter of fact, I could try to pull it up again. It's in the Drudge. But this devil, his track record is indisputable, and nobody should ever question it. You know, here it is, Rio's bloodiest day. Rio's bloodiest day, or the untold story of Brazil's most deadly police raid. And when you read it, it just goes into how this devil, you know, surrounded the city with officers and police and barricaded it, entrances, and just went to slaughtering, man. 122 people deleted in the deadliest police operation in Brazil history. So this devil cannot change his spots. He can't change who he is. He's the devil. He's wicked, and he would never be satisfied with blood. It says, if adversity come upon thee, right, meaning, you know, hard times, it says, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. And that's, you know, over there is adversity upon them people. And we see who's at the helm of it, who's saying, you know, it's a failed nation and it's this and that. I don't think it's going to survive. The man in office now in the Americas. So it says, though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee, meaning to slowly weaken you by what false lies and false promises and false hope, and just trying to just weakening you, because he's your enemy. It says he will shake his head and clap with his hands and whisper much and change his countenance, meaning he's gonna change his words, basically what he saying that he's gonna do. Psalms 55 and 21, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. So that's what this devil is saying. He's bringing in peace. He's bringing in, you know, solutions, you know, but it says, but war was in his heart, in his mind. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So we know exactly, you know, what it is, and we're trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because we know Jacob's trouble is here. We know it's high time to wake out of sleep, we're in the mindset of being pilgrims, because the Lord, that's what he told us to do. And we know that we're in the house of mourning. We're not in the house of mirth. We're not trying to hope this place comes back. We want these things to happen, this chaos and the plagues the Lord is sending forth. We're hastening these things to happen, the destruction, because that's when the kingdom of heaven will be ushered in, and Yahweh Shai, right, the Father will send his son back for the elect, to save the elect. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 40, O my people, hear my word, make you ready to thy battle, and in those evils be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So we're making ourselves ready to the battle by hearing this word, and also applying it. 2 Peter 3 and 11, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? We know destruction is coming. The Third World War, this is also going to, hopefully increase tensions between, the BRICS and NATO, because, Cuba is a BRIC ally, Russia, China, Iran, all these different nations. So it says, seeing, knowing nuclear destruction is coming, how are we commanded to have, to carry ourselves, our conduct, manner of life, behavior? How are we supposed to be? It says, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of the Lord, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. So, and that's the spirit that we're in. I'm gonna get one more and end it. This scripture's been coming out a lot through the spirit. Different brothers and elders and apostles. 2 Peter 1. Was that 1 Peter's? Let's see. That's 1 Peter 1 and 14. 1 Peter 1. It says in verse 13, 1 Peter 1 and 13, wherefore gird up the loins of your mind, be sober, meaning to strengthen your mind. It says, be sober and hope to the end for the grace that is to be brought upon unto you at the revelation of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So, girding up the loins of our minds, applying the spirit, the words we're reading, our manner of life, our conduct and behavior, we're applying wisdom and knowledge in hopes of being worthy of being saved by Yahweh Shah when he is revealed and returns for the elect. We're hoping that we're worthy to be a part of that number. Presenting our bodies as living sacrifices, girding up our loins, watching and praying. Watch. Let's see if I can find that. Watch as well as pray. All of these are good ones. Luke 21 and 36. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. You see, so that's, of course, what we're praying, we're watching, we're praying, we're repenting daily, examining ourselves so that we're found without spot and blameless. Let's end it with that if I can. Without spot. Let's see. Okay, 2 Peter 3 and 14. Okay, okay, this was the next verse. It says, wherefore, beloved, which is the elect, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. All right. So this is, what we're hoping and praying for, pushing for, fighting for, So let's keep pushing, keep fighting, keep being diligent to the best of our ability so that we can be found without spot, found of him in peace and blameless unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. All right. So Lord's will, I pray this lesson was edifying, ending it giving all praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Archachudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who teach and rule well, and peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yasharala, Abba Soon, Shalom.